Heights Cuchillo, good morning, and fire up your mind and lock in Indian country. This is your daily tribal sovereignty report and policy briefing for July 22nd, 2026. I'm your host, Aaron Thomas. Howhetan is my hereditary name, and this morning we're breaking down the biggest moves in Native policy, justice, and self-determination, from state-level MMIP breakthroughs to water rights, workforce funding, and key upcoming tribal events. Let's hit the headlines. First up, critical developments in the fight for missing and murdered Indigenous persons. According to a California Department of Justice press release, Governor Gavin Newsom signed Assembly Bill 2018 into law on July 21st. Authored by Native Assembly member James C. Ramos, this legislation modernizes the state's missing persons DNA program by mandating automated database matching across all unidentified missing person cases in California. Now, why this matters to tribes: for generations, Native families have faced painful delays and communication gaps when loved ones go missing. Automated DNA matching removes manual red tape, helping families find answers much faster. Why this matters to sovereignty: real justice requires state agencies to coordinate directly with tribal governments. Mandating state-level tech integration creates clear protocols that respect tribal jurisdiction, ensuring Native victims aren't overlooked in state-federal bureaucracy. Moving to South Dakota, according to KOTA Radio and Medicine Wheel Ride, grassroots organizers and South Dakota Missing Persons issued an urgent public alert and community search mobilization on July 20th for Delilah White Dress, who went missing from the Pine Ridge Reservation. Now, when local or federal emergency resources are delayed or underfunded, Indigenous communities rely on swift, grassroots networks to organize searches and spread the word. And community-led searches demonstrate Indigenous self-reliance. When outside systems fall short, tribes exercise their inherent duty to protect their own citizens and mobilize local resources directly. Turning to tribal governance and natural resources, according to Native News Online, the 25th Navajo Nation Council formally accepted the Speaker's summer session report during its July session. The report outlines major milestones for tribal water rights implementation, rural broadband expansion, and youth programming. Now, why this matters to tribes: because clean, reliable water access is vital for public health, local farming, and community development across expansive rural reservation lands. Now, why this matters to sovereignty: securing and managing water rights legally codifies a tribal nation's control over its most vital natural resource, reducing dependence on state or other utility systems. On the education front, according to Native News Online, the American Indian College Fund received a $2.4 million grant to expand Native art programming across tribal colleges and universities. Additionally, United Tribes Technical College highlighted new graduate leadership initiatives in technical and design fields. Now, why this matters to tribes: funding for tribal college universities, or TCUs, builds strong educational pathways for young Indigenous scholars, guaranteeing culturally relevant learning and career opportunities. And why this matters to sovereignty: educational sovereignty empowers tribal nations to educate their own workforce and preserve their heritage without relying on non-native institutions. Now for a very important weather alert across tribal lands in the United States and Canada. In the northern plains and upper Midwest, severe thunderstorms threaten high winds and localized flooding across tribal territories in South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota. And in the Southwest, monsoonal moisture brings a flash flood risk across Navajo, Hopi, and New Mexico Pueblo lands, while extreme heat warnings remain active for low desert tribes in Arizona and inland Southern California. In Western Canada, dry conditions and high temperatures continue to exacerbate wildfire smoke and fire hazards for First Nations across northern Alberta, Saskatchewan, and interior British Columbia. So stay safe and keep an eye on local advisories, and keep an eye on those elders as well. Finally, mark your calendars for these upcoming webinars and tribal leadership conferences, and here's how you can register and get more details. July 28th, the U.S. Department of Energy holds a technical assistance webinar focused on energy grid resilience and grant funding applications for tribal energy projects. To register or view the agenda, visit the DOE office at www.energy.gov/Indian Energy/current funding and technical assistance. Now, late July, FEMA hosts a technical session on hazard mitigation and climate infrastructure grant strategies for tribal emergency management staff. For registration and access in virtual portal links, check FEMA's Tribal Affairs page. September 21st to 22nd, the 2026 NAFOA Fall Finance and Tribal Economies Conference convenes at the Hilton Santa Fe Buffalo Thunder in Santa Fe, New Mexico, with a leadership summit on September 20th. Head over to nafoa.org, that's NAFOA.org, to register online and make sure you reserve your hotel rooms early. October 18th to the 22nd, the National Congress of American Indians hosts the 83rd Annual Convention and Marketplace alongside the NCAI Youth Convention right here at the Palm Springs Convention Center in Palm Springs, California. Visit ncai.org to register, access delegate resolution forms, or book hotel room blocks. All right, that'll do it for me here this morning on a Wednesday. We're almost there to the end of the week. This is your briefing for today. Knowledge is power and sovereignty is our strength. So keep standing tall for Indian country. If you found today's episode valuable, please hit that like button, share this video or audio with a friend or classmate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you stream. My name is Aaron Thomas. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you right back here tomorrow morning for another Daily Sovereignty Report.